he mentioned that there is no, it doesn't apply, whatever notices that I'm trying to petition do not apply to my case.
Okay.
So therefore, he will issue a notice to dismiss because I'm entering into I'm pretty much entering a petition that.
Okay, well, you went dead, so come back.
He dropped off for some reason.
Yeah, he'll come back. Okay, to answer his question, nobody gets a notice of deficiency and nobody gets a notice of determination. And the reason for it is, in order for it to be what they say it is, it has to be signed a certain way, and they're not usable to get a lien or a levy. They get a notice of lien and a notice of levy. Therefore, they can't use them to do what they're doing. That's what the court says.
So that equals lack of jurisdiction.
That's correct. And the reason they have no jurisdiction because they're doing a notice of lien and a notice of levy. They're doing a notice of determination and a notice of deficiency, and they can't do them. And if you can't do them and they're doing them, then they're no good. It's just like for those of you that do a 1040, that's fine. And you turn it in and it says you owe $10, and then all of a sudden the IRS sends you some kind of a document that says you owe $100,000. The only way they can do that is to do a substitute for return. That's the only way they can do it, because if you didn't do it, they had to have. The problem is they don't have jurisdiction because they did a substitute for return. Everything that they do kills them from the start. So we're not arguing with them. What we're doing is we're approaching this differently. We're approaching this with the law. The law says they can't do a notice of deficiency and a notice of determination. They can't do it. And that's what we're telling them. We didn't receive one. So they can admit they did it, but the problem is the court will bust them on it because they can't do them. I hope he can hear, and I hope that answered his question.
Yeah. Okay, the next one that wants to ask the question, go ahead. Hit *6, take your mute off.
Hi, my name is Frederick Harris, and I had a few questions for you guys.
Okay, go ahead.
Number one, me being a young man, I started working around 2010. I noticed that the John Doe document had from the years from 2000 to 2017. So, first question is, should I just start with the year of 2010, since that was the year that I started working? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And second question is, although I, filed every year ignorantly, would this still be beneficial for me to do so?
That's up to you. I can't tell you that. If you want to file. But once you get this letter, once you get your court order that says the IRS does not have jurisdiction, and they're going to tell you to file. How are they going to tell you to file if they don't have jurisdiction?
Absolutely. Understood.
See, so that's something you're going to have to come to grips with yourself.
Okay. All right. And one last question there is, once getting that letter, with them sending that letter to me, letting me know that they don't have jurisdiction.
Okay.
And I get
first of all, stop for just a second. It's not a letter. It's actually a court order. Go ahead.
Court order. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So once I get that court order and have it certified, does this mean that whenever I get paid for any job I'm at, they will no longer take taxes out of my check?
You'll have to arrange that with them. They don't do anything. You have to ask them. You can take that to your job and say, hey, look, the IRS doesn't have jurisdiction with me. Then if do a W-4 and do exempt. See?
Okay.
Or do a W-8-BEN and see if they'll let you do it. If they won't, do married and 15. In other words, if you're going to take a hit, take the lightest hit you can take.
Okay.
Because what the company will tell you is, you'll either do it this way or I'll hire somebody else.
Right.
So take the hit the least you can take. File the W-4, say you're married and got 10 children. What are they going? They don't know. They're just going to turn it in, and then they'll take very little out. That's
right.
better than saying, and then, or just work like you normally do at the end of the year. Do your 1040. That's your call. I'm not going to tell you how to do it.
Right. Okay.
The other thing I would tell people is if you do a W-4 and put exempt, make sure that you do a new one every
year.
Because it says on the IRS website, specifically for employers, that if your employee files exempt, but they don't do it every year, then they can flip you off exempt and withhold whatever they want. So make sure you get one in every year and do it less than 12 months if you have to be on the safe side.
And do you mean that, like, let's just say I'm working at a job at the beginning of the year, 6 months go by, go in and fill out another one?
What? Okay, you're gonna go if you get a job today, and just think about it. Every December or around Thanksgiving, just do another W-4 exempt. Do it every year at Thanksgiving.
Okay, Thanksgiving. Okay, got it.
And say then you're fine. But it says right on the form, if you do an exempt, you have to do it once a year. It's only good for a year.
Okay.
I have a question.
Go right ahead and ask it then.
I'm having problems locating that John Doe petition, the sample.
Okay.
I go to the U.S.
Okay. Tax court. They're not going to give it to you. We made that out for you, so you have to come to us to get it. They're not going to tell you to do it.
Mhm.
So Ed will, if you'll get the person that sent you this record to get on the phone tonight. Ed's email address is on there. Email Ed and he'll send it to you.
Okay, that's where the confusion was. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It's no problem. We filled it out for you so you would know how to do it.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
You bet. Good. We're done. Anybody else got a question?
Can I ask a question?
No, you cannot. Yeah.
Okay, then I will ask anyway.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so we're having a really hard time getting a response back from the federal district court saying that they do not have jurisdiction over the IRS. Has anyone thought of doing like a notary type inquiry where you ask them 3 times and then you end up with an affidavit that they refuse to rebut, and then in court an unrebutted affidavit would stand as evidence type of a approach?
You can try that. I have not, but I called them today and spent about 30 minutes on the phone with them. And what they told me was the judges won't answer it. So they said, what you do is if you'll go on the website, you'll see the judges, and then you'll see the court clerk for that judge. Make the letter out to that court clerk, and the court clerk said she would answer it. But they don't.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that. Okay, so we've been having trouble. So I went ahead and called today, and now this is what they told me. Now, are they lying? I can't tell you that. But the court clerk said if you'll send it to us, so on there it says Judge so-and-so, and then underneath it there's a name, and it says court clerk. Make the letter out to the court clerk, and then mail it to the same address, and they'll open it, supposedly answer you, and get back to you.
Awesome. Let's try that then, because I'm tired of this no response.
Well, I understand, and so was I. So I called them today, and that's what they told me.
All right, thank you.
Oh, no problem.
I can add on to that too, Terry. And Ed, is this the Texas Two-Step Show, by the way?
Yes.
Oh, good. Yeah, this is Ron. Yeah, I did the same thing. I called the U.S. District Court and told them what I was trying to do, and they said, "Well, don't go to the judge. Go to the clerk." The clerk is like the gatekeeper, so they're the ones that will get things done. And then we also included a self-addressed stamped envelope for the ease and convenience of them to send back the reply to us.
Okay, good. Does that answer your question? I hope it did. And thank you for that.
Okay.
Next question. Hey, Kerry.
Yes.
Have you got anybody's response back on the 2358C letter?
We're pretty much they realize, I guess, what we're doing, but so you're just going to have to keep trying and try sending it to somewhere else. Try to send it to Washington D.C. Try to send it. Just keep sending it to different people. I've been sending it out, and I got a letter back from them, and they acted stupid. They said that I don't understand what you're asking for. We need more time. So I got a letter back 2 days ago, and it said that we just need more time. Well, they've already sent me 3 of those. They need more times. But just keep trying, because once you get it, for those of you that live in a state that has income taxes, you probably will stop that too. So it'll be worth it.
Thank you, Kerry.
Okay.
Kerry,
what is the 2358C letter?
Okay. Let me ask you this. Hold on, and I'll send you one. I'll send you mine, okay? Just give me a second, and then after you get it, I want you to read it. You can read it online. All right. All right. Do you mind giving your email address, and I'll send it?
Kerry, this is Beverly. I think I'm in your system already, probably. Vito cars.
Just give me the first couple of letters in.
BTOK.
Okay, hold on. B-T. Yes, you are. You are.
Okay.
I'm sending it right now.
Okay.
When you get it, would you let us know and then read it for us?
Okay. Yep. I'll mute out until then.
Thank you so much.
Kerry,
I have a job.
Aaron?
You have a job? Is that what you said? I have a job?
No, I have a question.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead.
Okay, the question is, what is the definition of income?
Okay, I'm going to give it to you I'm going to tell you where it's at. You look it up and then come back and you read it, okay?
No, I already know the definition of it. I just want to know if you know it.
Of course I know it. It's Title 31, Section 321, D2. Yes, I do.
Okay. And the definition of income is gain derived from capital, right?
No, sir, it is not.
It's not?
It is not. That's why I say I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you the statute.
You
can't get it. No, sir, it has nothing to do with gains. And I'll tell you how I know. Go pull up a 1040 form. Line 22 says total income. Then go to the 1040 instruction booklet and read what line 22 says. If you want to do that.
Tell me what it is.
No, because if I tell you, it's better if you look it up. But it's gifts or bequests.
I'm sorry?
See? You don't believe it. It's gifts.
It's cutting out, Kerry.
Okay, it's gifts.
It's gifts.
Yes, and bequests.
Okay, well, it's a little different than my studying, but I've had my bouts with them, and they send me a notice and saying, we missed you, and we got your tax computed, and we got you figured with the penalties and everything, and you owe us about $2,000.
Right.
And they say sign here, agreeing to pay, and we'll work out a payment schedule. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. And so I did what they asked. They said that I needed to file, so I filed. They ended up owing me $1,600. And so then tell me they got a 3-year limitation on it, and that they're not obligated to pay me. And I told them, I said, well, you need to get your supervisor on the phone because there's something wrong here. You're going to press my family. You're going to put a lien against my property. And in reality, I don't owe you nothing. You didn't fix my furnace. You didn't fix my roof. You didn't cut my grass. You didn't fix my car. So how does I owe you? But then they got upset. And they said, well, we'd be frank if everyone talked the way you did, we'd have chaos. I said, what do you mean chaos? We already got chaos. The fact that you that owe me, and you know what they decided? They don't want to do business with me no more.
Right. That's right. And see, if they do a tax return for you, that's a substitute for return.
Right.
Okay, they can't do that. If you want the statutes on that, I'll send them to you. That way you can read it to them next time.
Well, the thing about paying taxes is that you have to fill out a form and give up information against yourself so they can use against you. In other words, you got to agree to whatever contracts that you sign into, W-2s, W-4s, 1099s, and all that. And you can avoid that by not signing any of them.
That's right. But the problem is, if you have a job that says if you don't do it, I'll give the job to somebody else. If you need the job, you do it. All I'm doing here, I could care less about all that. All I'm doing here is showing you if you have a lien on your property, how to get rid of it.
Right. The liens are not, what do they call that? They're not a legal document. Although that they make it that way and they put it in the court system as one, but in reality, they don't have the authority to do what they're doing, but we're led to believe that they do.
Right, and that's what this is doing. We're going to show you how to stop all that.
Hey, Kerry?
Yes, sir?
Do you want me to read 321 for everybody?
Yeah.
Or does everybody now have it?
Yes, go ahead and read it. That would be great.
Okay, Title 31, U.S. Code. Chapter 3 is Department of Treasury. Subchapter 2 is the administrative section for the Department of Treasury. 321, general description is general authority of the Secretary. Come down to Section D2, and it reads as follows. For purposes of the federal income, estate, and gift taxes, property accepted under paragraph 1 shall be considered as a gift or bequest to or for the U.S., to or for the United States. Therefore, a 1040 is nothing more than an estate form. It's a benefit form for the government.
So, there it is. And if you go to the 1040 form, line 22 says total income. If you go to the 1040 instruction booklet and look up line 22, you'll see it. It's defined right there. And when you see it, it'll make you mad, but that's what you have. Thank you, Mike. But that's so income. Federal income is gifts or bequests. So if you work for a job and they pay you something else other than a gift, then it's not taxable. Does anybody else have a question?
Yes, sir, I do.
I have the. Oh, go ahead. I have the 2358 letter, but do your question first.
Okay.
Yes, the question is related to the process after you received the order for dismissal for lack of jurisdiction. You refer to this as 40 acres and a mule. Would you be so kind as to articulate a little bit about that?
That's not the 40 acres and a mule. You use that and you go to a different court, using that as your proof that you've been screwed, basically, and you've been damaged. So you go to the court that pays you damages. They will give you a document saying that you're owed X amount. You've been damaged by $7 million, $100 million, $50 million, whatever. Then you send it to the Treasury, and the Treasury will write you the check and send it to you.
Do you have that process laid out, or could I email you?
I have that process laid out, but you're going to have to email me, because if I put it on here, as simple as it is, it will get screwed up.
Okay. Could I email you? What is your email address?
Okay. It's better to go through Ed and then Ed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, ma'am, would you read that letter for me, the 2358C?
Yep. So it has a taxpayer identification number at the top. Tax period is December 31st, 2010, so that would be tax year 2010, and the correspondence received was on August 6, 2015. Dear taxpayer, thank you for responding to our inquiry about the above tax return. Based on your information, we agree that you aren't legally required to file a tax return for the above tax periods. We are taking no further action at this time, but may need to contact you again if other tax issues arise. You don't need to reply to this letter.
Now, that letter basically says, dear taxpayer, you are not required you are not legally required to file a tax return. Now, if that would be beneficial, I'll tell you how I got that one. Okay?
Yes, please tell us.
Yeah, tell us how you got the letter.
Well, okay, when you get your court order, you get a certified copy and you send it to the IRS. That one came from Fresno. Now, it may take 15 of them. I don't know. When you get your certified copies, go get copies of your copies. That way you can, if it takes 30 letters, you'll get it. You mail it to the IRS saying, please send me my copy of my 2358C for the years in question. And then tell them, say, the years in questions are enclosed for your convenience. You're going to take your certified copy, put it in the envelope, and mail it. If they don't have jurisdiction, they sure can't tell you to file. But I believe the less you talk, the less you say, the better off you are.
Our blog is texasrepublic.wordpress.com. Our website is thetexasrepublic.com. Our email address is oneyellowroseenterprises@gmail.com. Our YouTube profile is, this is the link, because YouTube doesn't allow us to have a customized URL until we have over a certain number of subscribers. And follow us on Twitter at Texas Republic for You and at We Are Texians.
You have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so use your ears more than your mouth, and just write it. I want my copy of my 2358C for the years in question. The years in question are enclosed for your convenience, and you're going to take your court order and you're going to put it in there, and then you're going to mail it to them. I mail it to Ogden, I live in Texas, so I would send it to Austin, send it to Fresno, send it to wherever you think you need to, because it's going to be just like the Washington D.C. letter. They're just going to ignore you. So you're going to have to send more than one. I think it took me about 8 months to get mine.
I have a question, and it may sound ignorant because I'm a little bit ignorant towards it. How do you go about getting a certified copy?
Well, when the court tells you your final order, you just pick up the phone and call the court and say, "Hi, I want." The lady that answers the phone, you say, "I want certified copies for docket number, whatever it is." Then they'll say, "Okay, how many do you want?" You tell them how many you want. They'll call you back and say, "Okay, here, we need you to pay this much money." And then they'll put them in the mail and mail them to you.
Okay, thank you.
It's no problem. It's pretty simple, really, to get.
Yeah.
I have a question, if I may.
You may not. Go ahead.
I got the letter back from the tax court with the order for dismissal for lack of jurisdiction. And why can I not use that letter instead of requiring a certified copy? Because I could include in the letter the link to the tax court website so they could see that it's real.
Well, they can, but let me ask you this: if I'm going to send you a check for how much do you want it? $10,000? I'm going to send you a check for $10,000, but I'm not going to sign it. Tell me what good it's going to do you.
Well,
I'm just telling you. I don't care. Then do it that way. Go ahead and do it that way.
Okay.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem for me.
Yeah, it just occurred to me that mine is e-signed, so
they're all e-signed. And just call, if that's what you want to do it, and send them the link. That's fine. You're welcome to do it in any way you want.
Yeah, I think the point is you want the court seal and the wedding signature, and that way it can't be disputed.
That's what I think. But then, if you don't think you need it, then by all means, don't do it. I'm not here to tell you not to do it or to do it.
I'm just curious. Thank you.
You got it.
I got a question.
All right.
Hi, this is Don from Pittsburgh. I just sent mine in. It was received on April 10th of this year, and I received my docket number. Now, my question to you is, for the years, I put down from the present to 1976. Now, is that going to hold it up?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Long time.
Do I need to redo it, or do I have to wait until?
I don't know. That's your decision. Let me ask you this: did they use notices of notice of determinations back in '76?
No. No, I believe not, because that court case was later.
Okay, so if they didn't use them in '76, how would you get them? How would you get something they didn't use?
Okay. If I would redo it, would that cause problems? If I would just go ahead and do it again?
Well, my experience is they're going to say this is a duplicate and delete the first one. What you need to do is do a Form 2 and put in your docket number and ask to have it dismissed. After it's dismissed, then go back in and do it, and we have better luck that way.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
Hey, hello, this is John, Salt Lake City. Do you know the exact year that they did start or that they did create these notice of deficiency and et cetera?
No, I do not. But I do know this. The IRS has a hard time going back past 10 years. And if you go back to 2000, that's 17 years. If they don't have jurisdiction for 17 years, how did they get it in other words, how did they get it in 99? If they didn't have it from 2000 to 2017, how would they have gotten it in 99?
May I say something real fast?
Sure.
I did my petition from 1987 through 2017. I started in November. I just got my order of dismissal yesterday. I had another gentleman that I'm helping down here in Houston went back to, I think it was 1955. He's a little bit older than I am, to current. He got his order before mine was even completed. So it's not a matter that I can tell, and Carrie, you can, like you've done so already, you can expound more on this. It's not a matter of what or how many years you've got. If they don't have the notice of deficiency, they will ignore those years.
There's your answer. Then go ahead and don't worry about it. Leave it go and see what happens.
Now, here's the other thing that you can do to speed it along. Once you get the notice from the counselor for the commissioner saying that there's a lack of jurisdiction, in order to move mine forward, I submitted a no contest to the notice of jurisdiction, and I received the order within a week. So that's the other option for you once you get the jurisdictional argument letter.
Well, the problem is that makes it kind of difficult for some people. You just leave it go and you'll get it anyway. I've tried to make it as simple as possible. And when you start adding these extra things to it, people make a lot of mistakes. And then we end up having to go back and clean that up.
Okay.
So just when you put it in, leave it go and get what you get. And after you get it, if you have a mistake, we'll fix it then.
Fair enough.
I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, this is Aaron from Florida. I lost contact at the beginning. My question was very simple. It was about the notices of deficiency and the notices of determination. If there is an exception where it does not apply towards owed any, does it apply to every single tax debt? And of course, if I had a conversation with the opposing counsel, the IRS counsel, who called me at a surprise, and I had a conversation with him. He was just asking to see what was my intention in filing this petition. I told him, it's on the petition. It's exactly what it says. I want my notices. If you don't have them, then let me know if you don't have them. And he did mention, if I was coerced, or if I was where did I find the information? I said it's simple. In your website, it's at ustaxcourt.com. Would you like me to give you the website? So he was just being, trying to, impose his questions on me, and I really didn't pay attention. But one of the things that I did pay attention to was the fact that he mentioned that, oh well, I don't know why you're trying to request these notices when they don't apply to you, because your situation doesn't require for us to provide these notices. And I will be sending a notice to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction, because you have no jurisdiction in requesting those notices to begin with. This is what was told. So that's why my question. I'm asking you that question to see if there's any.
If you read what it says in 2616 or 6212, says it is recommended, but on 6213A it says it's required. So the guy's a liar. He's full of crap. Okay. Now.
Okay.
Check out our other videos and playlists. Republic of Texas RT documentary. Texas and other American states is under a military occupation. The Republic of Texas Forum of 2016. And describe the kind of people who would thrive in independent Texas. And so check them out.
Okay, if they do not give you a notice of deficiency or a notice of determination, if they don't give that to you, how do you owe them any money?
Okay.
I'm going to see, it's like me, I'm going to send you an invoice in the mail, and it's going to be blank. But at the bottom, I'm going to write $10,000. I'm not going to tell you what it's for, and I'm not going to tell you what I did. Will you pay
it? No, hell no.
Okay, that's what they're doing. So the guy's full of crap. That's all I can tell you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I think the best thing people can do is if you accidentally answer the phone when they call, just say, I'm really busy. Can you call me back at whatever time tomorrow? They're not going to call you back because in my experience and my brother's experience, they called and then the very next day they sent the motion. So they really weren't interested in getting a response from you anyway. And like he said, they're lying. They're liars. So they're just going to try and confuse you and mix you up and maybe get you to respond on paper with something that will hurt you. So if you accidentally answer the call, tell them you're busy, and can they call back at whatever time tomorrow? And I don't think they're going to call you back. You're better off just, like Terry said, the less you say, the better.
Yep, the better it is if you don't say nothing. If they ask you and you don't know what to do, my pat answer is, I never received a notice of deficiency. I never received a notice of determination for 2000 to 2017. What website did you get this on? I never received a notice of deficiency. I never received a notice of determination for 2000 to 2017. And then I hang up. Because if you didn't receive it, they'll put, if you tell them that, they'll put that on your paper. They never sent you, and it's required. It says so right in their own paperwork. It's required.
May I read it?
You know what? Yeah, go ahead and read it, and you'll see. Read it.
Section 212, Notice of Deficiency. In general, subparagraph A, if the Secretary determines that there is a deficiency in respect of any tax imposed by subtitles A, B, or its various subchapters, he is authorized to send notice of such deficiency to the taxpayer by certified or registered mail. Such notice shall include a notice to the taxpayer of the taxpayer's right to contact a local office of the taxpayer advocate. That being said, let me now read 6213, which are the restrictions applicable to deficiencies, and a petition to the tax court. The time for filing a petition and restriction on assessment. Within 90 days or 150 days, if the notice is addressed to a person outside the United States, after the notice of deficiency authorized in 6212 is mailed. And that's all I'm going to read because that's all that is required. In other words, if you do not get the notice of deficiency, you are not authorized to challenge anything. If you are not authorized to challenge anything, and they did not send out a notice of deficiency, then how can they have a levy against you, let alone a notice of such a levy?
And there it is. So your answer to them is, don't pick up the phone, don't answer the phone, or if you do, you never say nothing, then I never received, and then hang up the phone.
This is John in Salt Lake. Where is this 6212 and 13 located?
Title 26.
Title 26. Thank you.
You got it.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
Okay, my comment is that I believe, Terry, you taught us that the notice of deficiency had to be signed by somebody under penalty of perjury. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. That's why even if you got one, you didn't get one.
So that is a very, very important point to be made here, that the notice of deficiency or what was the other thing?
Notice of determination.
Determination. Those two things, even if you get those, are they ever signed? They aren't. They're never signed. So that's really good. People want to call you like they did my husband. My husband said, listen, my paperwork speaks for itself. I don't communicate over the phone. If you need to talk to me further, you can communicate in the mail, but my paperwork speaks for myself. And within a couple of weeks, we had our letters.
Right. So the less you say, the better off you are. Because if you're going to say something, if you say something, you're going to end up saying something, and it's not going to be the right thing. They're attorneys, so they're liars, and they're going to extrude it some other way, and they're going to send you something that said you said this, and then you're all upside down.
Right, I agree. So Carrie, I can read. Cindy got her order of dismissal for lack of jurisdiction. And it even says right in this paperwork, in fact, you said that this is perfect. If you don't mind, I'll read the first paragraph of it.
I'd like to hear that if you don't mind.
Yeah, so she got her order of dismissal for lack of jurisdiction. And it says, of course, the petitioner was her, and the commissioner, the Internal Revenue. So the commissioner of Internal Revenue, I don't know if very many people know that, but that is one ugly-looking dude, if you ask me.
Yeah.
David. I'm joking. But anyway, it says, on April 16, 2018, respondent filed in the above docketed case a motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction on the ground that no notice of deficiency, as authorized by Section 6212 and required by Section 6213A of the Internal Revenue Code, an IRC in brackets, to form the basis for a petition to this court, had been sent to the petitioner with respect to taxable years 1997 through 2017, nor had the respondent made any determination with respect to the petitioner's tax years through 1997 through 2017, including any determination pursuant to Section 6320 and or 6330 IRC that would confer jurisdiction on the court as of the date of the petition herein was filed. In the motion, respondent indicates that petitioner has no objection on the granting thereof. Upon consideration, it is ordered that respondent's motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction is granted, and this case is dismissed for lack of jurisdiction.
And the thing that I would say to people that are listening on the call is, you know, when we saw this, we're like, okay, that's great. Okay, I think this is good stuff. But what we learned from Carrie was you really need to read every sentence, and you need to reread the sentences, and you need to look those things up, because when you look them up, you realize the power that this piece of paper has. Most people don't get it, okay? So it's crucial when you get your letter that you read and you understand what it says, because that right there is gold.
See, the IRS is telling you they don't have jurisdiction.
Right. That's the beauty of this letter, of this order.
Yes.
Or this
there you go. That's right. And see, what can you do with it? Whatever you want. See? You got the kicking shoe on your foot now.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, Barry, you know this, but the audience doesn't know this. We have dealt with this for 5 years. We have done so many things. I'm embarrassed to tell you what we've done, but you know, they put a lien on our property that has stopped us from being able to sell our property because we know that the escrow people are, you know, brainwashed to say, oh yeah, there's a lien. We have to send these funds there before we, you know, close out the escrow. So we have dealt with this for many years, and we have never really found our remedy, and now we believe we have a remedy. So there's going to be a follow-up to this once we use this letter to go to the county and the attorney and deal with all of these people to say, you did the wrong thing by filing this improper quote-unquote lien, and we need this thing removed.
And it will be removed. Does anybody else have anything?
I have a quick question.
Okay, make it quick.
Okay. I'm not really confused, but I guess I want to say that when I got my court order dismissal, it talked about a certain tax year where it said that I had been issued a notice of deficiency, but it didn't say I was sent one. So, they're playing games with the wordage because issued is not sent or mailed. But that's the argument that I've heard from the IRS with giving them my certified copy of the dismissal is, well, it was issued. But I said, okay, well, then prove it was sent.
Right. And they haven't been able to yet. My first one of these I did my first one in 2008. And they still haven't sent that one to me yet.
Interesting. Well, I was bringing that up that it sounds confusing. Like, okay, you didn't file it timely because a notice of deficiency was issued, but that really doesn't mean anything at all. They can issue it internally all they want, but 6213 and 6212 say it has to be mailed, certified. And that's the confusion they're deliberately throwing in there, and they're trying to, I think, use that as an excuse where they're hoping people will believe issued means the same thing as sent or certified mailed. Just a comment that I want to bring up. Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Okay, does anybody have anything else before we stop?
Gary, I got a question.
Okay. Go right ahead. The lady first.
Who's going?
Oh, okay. I'm the one who filed for the years 84 to 2017.
Okay.
But the first lien was in 1986, and that was the last year I filed. But those the years from 94 to 2000, the liens are about $90,000. So that's why I put all those years in there. But I sent a notice out just for the current liens that are still in the court, and they're taking out of my checks. So I just put that notice in for just the current lien so I could have some relief. Could I, instead of putting all those years, could I take like 5 years at a time?
Yeah, yes.
And do it that way?
You can.
Yeah, because if I put them all on there, I mean, it's about $150,000. So if I put them all on there, it'll probably take, the rest of my life, and that it'd be past my expiration date. So I'll do it. The best way is to do it in increments.
If you'll go on the website and put in my name and go through mine, you'll see that I did that several times. I got one from 97 to 2017. And then I got one for 2008, 10, and 12. And the reason for it is I needed to get a lien removed, so I wanted to isolate just those years. And then I got another one that goes 2000, 2009, 2012, because I needed to isolate those. So you can do it however you want to do it. Plus, I was trying to figure out how to do it the best way. But if you go online and go through mine, you'll see that they're all over the board. And the reason for it is I wanted to see how they worked and what worked the best and what would give you the best bang for your buck. So to answer your question, yes, you can do it that way.
Okay.
Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Don't forget to like this video. And don't forget to click the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified when there's a new upload. Here's the front page of the channel. The bottom arrow is pointing at the subscribe button that's normally red until you click on it, and this one turns white after you subscribe. And the right one is the arrow. The top arrow is pointing to the bell. Now, the bell doesn't show up until after you click the subscribe button, and then the bell will show up. And that way you can be notified of new uploads.
Thank you very much. And
go ahead. Yes.
I also tried to find hours and hours to try to find what year they instated or implemented this determination, notice of deficiency and determination. And I couldn't find anything, but now you're saying that they couldn't do it anyway.
No, it doesn't matter. They can't do it anyway.
Oh, okay. Good. Thank you very much.
No problem. I appreciate the question.
Something
Go ahead.
you folks might carry this in.
Yeah.
After you've filed that order in your court records, if you give it 3 or 4 weeks or something, go in there and try to pull those liens up under your name in that courthouse. Those liens have probably disappeared.
Yes, we got a couple guys that tried something a little different, and they weren't just covered; they were expunged. So there's once you get your certified copies, let us know, and we'll try our best to tell you what we did in the past. But that's no guarantee that it'll work now, but we believe it will. And so once you get your certified copies, you put a cover letter together, mail it to the county, and then mail it to the IRS office and agent that has the lien on you. And there are certain things you can put in your cover letter that will hold them liable. So once you get it, email Ed and we'll help you with that.
Okay, thank you. And the liens are coming from Fresno, California, someplace in Ogden, Utah, and 2 here in the county that I'm in now. But they're all over the place, and they did that.
See, that's right. They do that on purpose.
Yeah.
So when you send out that's why you need more than one certified copy, because it works better. Then get copies of the certified copy so that it doesn't cost too much. And then you're going to send out your package. And there's also some statutes that says that the tax court order is final and binding. If you need a copy of that, let us know. We'll send you that and just put it in there, and then send it out. And it works more often than it doesn't, but we'll help you draft the letter if you want our help.
Where would you go to each county to find out the liens?
The liens are more than likely in the county you live in. They're probably not in all the counties. They're probably just in the county you live in. So go to the county clerk, and you can probably do it on the phone. If you know enough about a computer, you can probably just download them right off of their website. But call them on the phone and say, hey, do I have any liens? And then go down and you pay $1 a page or $2 a page, and they'll print it out for you. And then you'll have on there, it'll tell you how much you owe, who put it on, and what office it came from. So they've done a lot of work for you.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you again.
Yes, no problem.
Is Ed there this evening?
Yeah, Ed's
Hello.
here.
Ed, are you?
Yeah, I'm here. What'd you say?
This is Dave. This is Dave in Missouri. I did print off that docket inquiry you told me about.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have anything relating to what the phone call was. All they're doing is kind of the repetitious of what I know about, and it don't say any more about the dismissal.
Well, yeah, but still, probably got a date on there when the order is going to be made, when the court order is going to be done.
Well, it says order of the.
Most all of them are about the same thing.
Yeah, most of them are. Most of them are pretty close.
Well, it's got a date here of 4/13/18. We're supposed to file any objections to the rep's motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction, and that's the one I didn't pay any attention to. It's come and gone. So.
Well, that's what you want. So if you don't say anything, they're telling you what they're going to do. They're going to send that to you.
Okay. Well, then I'll just sit back and wait for something to happen.
Right. And watch it happen.
All right. That phone call that I got though was pretty sarcastic about what they're wanting me to do. They're talking about that I didn't answer, and that I'm trying to not go in front of the magistrate judge, and left the phone number here I guess it's from Washington D.C. and it's called an IRS informant action.
Hold on a minute. There's a scam running, and there's people all over the nation that's getting calls.
Right. So,
and it's all coming from Washington D.C. and New York.
Yep. And the funny thing is, the IRS don't call you unless it's
right.
They write you letters. They don't call you.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I never got an IRS to call me. They always send you letters.
Right.
Do anybody know what one of them phone numbers might be that they got it from?
No, I didn't never look. But if you answer it, and it says that they're from the IRS and they're the counsel, just tell them thank you for calling and hang up on them. It doesn't matter.
Well, you see, what happened here is I didn't get the call. I got it after the fact, and then I listened to it. And then, of course, they're threatening me that I got to call them back immediately.
Right. Well,
sounds like it's life-threatening.
Right. That's a scam. More than likely, that's a scam. So.
Yeah, just had one in Victoria, Texas yesterday.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So just let it go.
All right. Okay. I'll just sit back and wait for something else to happen.
Good deal. Thank you.
I thank you, and God bless you.
Thanks
for all your help. I want to ask you a question. Okay, this is Sean Fort Worth. Okay, when you send a letter to Washington, do you enclose your phone number and email also?
You do, so they can contact you if they need to. If you don't want to, don't do it. Then they'll just how are they going to get a hold of you if you don't have an address?
Well, I got the address. I'm talking about just specifically the phone and the email.
That's up to you. If you don't put it down there, they can only contact you by phone. By letter. So that's up to you. You do what you want.
Okay. Second question is, they do call you on the phone. Specifically, there was an IRS agent called David Taylor at 819 Taylor Street, Fort Worth. The IRS does call you on the phone. Third thing I want to ask you is, I had $304,000 stolen from me cash, and I turned it in to the IRS as stolen property. The IRS said, yes, you can deduct that. I've got $268,000 credit left of the $304,000 in cash. If I was to file all that stuff would go away, wouldn't it?
No, that not necessarily. If they owe you money, it wouldn't. But you're probably outside of what we're doing this for. The reason we're doing this is there's a lot of people that have problems with the IRS. This is trying to help them get the upper hand again. The IRS won't always call you. That's what this is really about. It doesn't help everybody. There are certain scenarios that we can help you with. So it may not help you.
I want to do this. I have been doing this. I mean, sending letters up there. I have not got a response yet. Anyway, that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Is that it then?
No, I have a question.
Okay, hold on a minute. This lady, go ahead.
I would like to know if I could view your petitions and for the years that you've done it.
Sure. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Go on the U.S. tax court website. Somebody's echoing. Would you on a speakerphone?
All y'all that's not talking, mute your phone. Star 6.
Please. Better. All right. Go to the United States Tax Court. And then go to docket inquiry. Let me know when it pops up.
Oh, I'm not on the computer yet.
Okay, well then
I'm just writing it down.
All right, and then go to docket inquiry, and then go individual name, and then put in a name that you want to put in the state, and hit search, and it'll pop right up, and you'll see everything they've done. It's for public record.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Anytime. Thank you.
Richard, on the land of Missouri.
Yes, sir.
I would like to discuss the filing fee situation on when you file a tax court case, Terry.
Don't pay the fee.
Exactly. But it says at the time of filing a petition, a fee shall be paid, which is impossible because the government made it impossible. They took our money. Therefore, by affidavit or declaration, you specifically state that. And then the fee is going to have to be waived because the court can't require the impossible from you.
Correct. So don't pay it and just ignore it. Is it even possible that the government would lie to you?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, that's what they're doing. All they're trying to do is if you pay them or if you ask to have the fee waived, you're on the administrative side. There's two sides of the court. There's an administrative side and there's a legal side. So if you want a legal determination, don't pay. If you want an administrative determination, pay the $60. Then they'll come out and tell you that they'll tell you how the everything works. You'll become a Title 26 will pertain to you.
Okay, by the way, Corey, one of our friends got a dismissal for lack of jurisdiction. You might want to call him.
Yeah.
Over and out. I'm muting.
Thank you.
Terry, I just want to say one thing. I want to say one thing to the people that called in tonight. Bill, all of Bill's friends, and Dana's friends, and Dana. Guys, don't sit on this. This stuff is like the real deal. After all the years I've done different things, this is the one that is actually making a difference. And don't pay that $60 fee. And even if they come back to you and send you a letter that, like they did to my husband, don't pay it, and it just goes through. Like it's crazy how great it works. So just believe in the process. And if anybody calls you, just tell them my paperwork speaks for myself. If you need to talk to me any further, write me because I don't really discuss my business over the phone. And so, this is the real deal. So just get out there and do it. And if you guys need any help or any of those papers that are the examples, I can send them, or you can email Ed and just get it done. Because the more of us that do this, the more they'll see we're waking up, and the more powerful we will be.
Yep.
I have a question.
Sure.
I have a question. Now, when you're talking about the letter, are you talking about actually filing the petition, or are you talking about a separate letter?
petition.
Okay.
It's the court order.
The petition.
The petition's court order comes back.
Tax court.
Yeah. The court, the essential is a petition.
Once you do the petition paperwork, and I should have been more specific, the petition paperwork is, I think, 3 pages. It takes you 5 minutes, literally, to fill it out. Do not pay the $60 fee. Send it in, and then you will get back, your answer. Or if they say something about pay the fee, don't do it. And then you will get your court order. It's taken us 6 weeks, and it's happened perfectly.
Okay. This is John. What is Ed's email address?
REPTX777 at att.net.
Did you get that?
I got up to RET. I missed the rest.
TX.
P as in Paul?
No, T as in Texas.
Yeah, RET.
No, it's RET like representative, and then Texas TX.
Okay, I got that.
777. And then what's the rest of it, Ed?
At att.net.
.net. Okay, thank you.
You got it.
Richard for the floor.
Gary.
From Missouri.
Wait a second. Richard from Florida. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, it's Richard on the land of Missouri, actually. Again, I believe that when we file our initial petitions, we should always include in there the only proper method to communicate from the court to the petitioner or the respondent should be by mail for clarity.
Well,
always include that in your petition.
Don't add that in your petition because that'll confuse them. If you add, just do it the way it's done. If they call you, tell them that. If you want to do an amended petition later and do that, that's fine. But if you put that in there, there's no place for that. And what that will do is that will kick it out, and they don't know what to do with it. You're dealing with the government. You're dealing with the government. Just leave the form as it is. Do it the way I just told you to do it because that's the way it works. It never fails if you do it the way I just told you.
Yeah,
it
guys,
fails
don't
if you
stray.
change anything.
That's it. Do not stray from what he tells you to do. If you're anal, if you're a type A, you're going to do great. If you're not, then stretch yourself and do exactly what he tells you to do, and that is where you're going to get your remedy.
Gary?
Now, the other guy, yes.
This is Steve. I sent you an email earlier this week from a guy that Lynn helped out in Montana who did the petition, got his court order, did nothing else, and about 3 weeks later, he received the lien release in the mail.
That does happen from time to time, but normally we have to go and ask for it. But that does happen.
Yes, and that's proof it does work.
Yes. Thank you.
Hi, this is Frederick Harris again in Texas. I just wanted to make a comment to the lady who was speaking and giving us the advice. Is it okay if I can leave my email, for information about specifically about the topic tonight, for more information that may be more helpful for myself in the process?
Yes, if you would email Ed. Everything's going through Ed so that we don't answer, so that I don't have to answer the same question 10 times to 10 different emails. So email it to Ed, and then Ed will get it to him, no problem. Ed is kind of the leader of it. And do you know what his email is?
Yes, I do. I actually just emailed him myself.
Okay, email him with your question, and then he'll disperse it. That way we make sure we get all the questions. Because if you send it to just willy-nilly, you won't get yours answered. But this way it goes through Ed. Ed will make sure that they all get answered.
Okay, thank you so much.
You betcha. Thank you for calling. Okay, anything else?
Okay, we're about run out of time. So
yes,
if
we
anybody's
have.
got a quick question, ask right quick.
Yes. I have a question. On my docket, they keep supplementing and putting on mailings from years past, claiming a notice of deficiency was served, but the mail records they provide, you can't actually verify, and they even actually admit they can't find any signed versions of the notice of deficiencies.
Right.
I'm at the level now where I'm at the point now where it's either object or let it go to motion to dismiss as supplemented. I just let it go, right? Or do I object to that?
Just let it go. Let it go. And then once it's dismissed, if something is missing, 1 or 2 years, we'll go back and get those 2 years.
Well, they've actually, luckily, they've added in all the years, but for all of the years, they've added supplements to them claiming, mailings and deficiencies and just piles of old junk. Most of it I've never seen. Trying to.
That's the attorneys now. That's the attorneys. Let the court do what it does.
Fantastic. That's what I would hope you'd say. All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you.
Okay, folks. Let's see here. Our next call will be the 8th of May. We got our calls on the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays. Okay.
Thank you guys for what you do so much.
Sure.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you very much.
All right, man. Thanks.